You watch what you bet here right on That Betting Show, April 19, 2019. Raptors Magic plus 5.5 for the Magic tonight. Total of 211.5. Moneyline split minus 210 plus 176. Going to be at 7 o'clock tonight on a Friday night live from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Raptors are 39-43 on the season. 30-37 against the spread as a road favorite. But if we take a look at the Magic, Teddy, versus Atlantic Division teams, 15-5 against the number. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest matchup in this series so far has been Toronto's ability to shut down Vujovic. Nikola Vujovic for Orlando. He's been a non-factor in a series where Orlando absolutely needs him to be a factor. He's really frustrated through the first two games. Nick Nurse talking about it. We've got two really good centers defensively, first of all. They're at times as good as it gets, so it's nice to have two guys, Ibaka and Gasol, to be able to go at him throughout the course of the game. They played him physical. They limited his touches. Vujovic talking about it. It's just they double-teamed me early, and it was hard to create anything. They did a good job taking away a lot of the stuff, a lot of my strengths, and I must have to figure it out, a way to be more aggressive, be more efficient offensively. I didn't take many shots either Tuesday, so I have to find a way to get going offensively. He was talking about the first two games of the series. He didn't take shots. Toronto's figured him out. And that means, A, Vujovic's got to step up and do something different tonight. Or B, we need to see the role players from that. It's not even the role players. You need Fournier. Fournier has got to hit some shots. You got to see Gordon hit some shots for Orlando. The depth has to come through for Orlando to hang tough in this ball game. They only shot 37% on Tuesday, 9 of 34 from three-point range. It's a team that is capable of hitting some shots, but you look at these Toronto quotes on the defensive end, Nick Nurse, obviously the offense is sticking out with the 37 points, talking about Kawhi, but much more locked in defensive approach. I think it was a team-wide thing defensively. He was a big part of that. I think about every guy that hit the floor was more locked in as a team defense on Tuesday. There's been an under series all year. Now, I'm not expecting points in bunches tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if tonight is another defensive scrum.
Game 2 of our triple header tonight, Teddy. The Pacers try to get up off the mat in Game 3 here. If we remember, in Game 1 in the Boston Garden, you had the Pacers struggle to score. In Game 2, a double-digit lead late, and also had the ball up to with under a minute to go and couldn't close the door. Couldn't even close the door for their betting backers. But if you take a look tonight, Teddy, Pacers are now favored by 3, total of 205.5, moneyline split plus 125, minus 145. Tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Celtics are 40-42 against the number on the season, 5-2 against the number in April. But if we take a look at the Pacers, 40-43 against the number on the season, 18-15 against the number at home as a favorite.
Yeah, really it's a fascinating game tonight. Boston's better than Indiana. They've shown it, and they're going to win the series. In theory, Game 3 with the 0-2 team at home, they're supposed to be playing for their playoff lives. Obviously, we have the long-term trend of the 0-2 team returning home, covering first-half spreads, although the markets have reacted to that accordingly. No bargains on Indiana in the first half tonight. But we've seen twice during crunch time, when the Celtics turn their defense on, the Pacers have had no answers. They had that 8-minute scoring stretch without a point, or scoreless stretch, I should say, without a point in the fourth quarter, allowing Boston to come back for that bad beat in Game 2. That run after halftime of Game 1, 22-3, where the Celtics, just shut down Indiana. Indiana missed their first 11 shots of the third period in that contest, and that turned into an 84-74 Celtics win. This is a problem for Indiana. And now we're talking about a favorite where they got to win. And they haven't been able to produce points when Boston brings their A game on defense. Their A game's been there the last two games. Of course, if you're looking at recent history, well, the Celtics have had problems in this role. They had it all last year. They finished 1-7 on the road in the postseason. Round 1, they're up 2-0 against Milwaukee. Go play 2 games against the Bucks. This is last year, not this year, when the Bucks weren't quite as good as they are. Lo and behold, that series tied 2-2 going back to Boston. So the history does not bode well for the Celtics, the recent history in terms of these playoff games. But Boston's better than Indiana, and I worry about the Pacers' ability to score. The Pacers weren't a great team down the stretch. Obviously, they lost 3 of their final 4 home games during the regular season. They lost by 20 to the Celtics on this floor in April. It's Boston or pass for this better, despite the trends favoring Indiana, both for the game and for the first half.
Yeah, if we're looking for a comeback there for Indiana Pacers in this game, sitting at plus 900 to win the series. Let's flip it over to game 3 of the triple header. Rip City heads to OKC and tries to take that commanding 3-0 lead there, Teddy. If you think OKC can come back, could probably get them at about a plus 200 number on the series. So legitimate odds here. Let's take a look at what's taking place in the game tonight. The Thunder, Teddy, favored by 7.5. The total 221.5 money line split plus 270 minus 330. The Blazers are 47-37 against the number on the season, 10-16 however against the spread as a road underdog. The Thunder even Steven 42-42 against the number on the season and 21-20 against the number at home.
Well, I mean, really, when we talk about what's happened so far in this series, one stat tells you the whole series, and that's OKC three-point shooting. Thunder 5 of 33 in the opener, 5 of 28 in game 2. Yeah, that's 10 for 61 for the series, 16%. And if you're shooting 16% from 3, you ain't going to win a whole lot of games and you ain't going to cover a whole lot of point spreads, as OKC backers have found out. There's been a lot of support for the Thunder in this series in the betting markets. We saw it in game 2. This line closed as low as Portland -1, even pick them in some spots. We're seeing it again in game 3 where the money is coming on OKC. And the thoughts from Billy Donovan make sense. You know, for the most part, we got off fairly decent looks in game 2. We're going to have to take them. The Blazers protect the rim as the ball gets driven downhill. You can't just force the ball in there. You have to keep the defense somewhat honest by making some of those shots. Damian Lillard's been brilliant, and C.J. McCollum's coming off a offensive explosion game. His first since coming back. I think it might have been second since coming back from injury. But can Lillard do it again defensively to Westbrook tonight? Can McCollum continue to put up points in bunches where he hasn't been consistent doing that? And can OKC make three-pointers on their home floor where they haven't been making them all season, or certainly all series? I worry about the Thunder right now. I do. This was not a great team down the stretch of the NBA campaign. They were not a great team after the All-Star break. The betting markets continue to like OKC. There may be some value here on the underdog. Even if they don't win the game, they hang around, they can cover the number.